Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So, I apologize. I've been under the weather the last couple days. Not really sure why, but feeling a little better today. Had me a little coffee. So, we're going to roll with this next one. And we have Gordon Freeman to thank for this one, actually. Um, and Gordon uh, pointed out a change in Huey Lewis in the news in a song. I'm not thinking of the song right now. I think it was Back in Time or something. And I'll get to that. I will. We will. But in the meantime, we're going to look at Huey Lewis and the news. And I wasn't sure how to present this one because this one was a little weird. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is go through Huey Lewis and the news and then explain why this one's a little weird for me and my fiance. And then I got one more. After all that, even, I got one more piece of evidence to show. So we'll start. And for me, I'm not really sure on this one. So we're going to go with, once again, their official website, Huey Lewis A&D The News. I got their official website right here. And it's Huey Lewis and A&D The News. All right, so that's what we're going to go with. That's our baseline, and I'm going to provide that link, guys. And now I've got an example of each of these up. I've got Huey Lewis A&D The News, live from Oregon. So that's A&D. I've got Huey Lewis and Sign and the news. Greatest hits. These are album cover. That's an album sticker covered. Greatest hits album cover sticker. So, all right. But then, just to go through some of these, here I'll provide this search as well. I got one example of each that you'll be able to see. But then I'll provide this search, and you've got Huey Lewis and A&D spelled up and down, the news. And then you got Huey Lewis. I think that's A&D spelled up and down again, the news. Huey Lewis and the news. There's another A&D. That's the same thing. Sorry about that. Then you got Huey Lewis A&D the news. That's what they say they are. That's one we already saw. Um, Huey Lewis A&D the news up and down again, I think. And there's A&D again. So a lot of A&Ds. But how about Time Flies? The best of Huey Lewis and Sign and the news. So there's an and sign. And that's A&D. There's another A&D. Huey Lewis A&D and the news. There's another A&D live at 25. There's another A&D. Huey Lewis and the news. This looks like it's more of a magazine cover than an album cover, but there they are, A&D. How about Huey Lewis and Sign and the news? Hip to be square, live. So there's another and sign. There's another A&D. So it looks like they heavily lean A&D, but here's another and sign. Huey Lewis and Sign the news. This is it. So there's an and sign. Huey Lewis A&D. There's another A&D spelled out. So yeah, a lot of A&Ds. Huey Lewis A&D the news. There's another one. But you definitely have a few. Here's Huey Lewis and Sign the news. Huey Lewis and Sign the news. Picture this. So there's another and sign. And there's another Huey Lewis A&D spelled out. So you got a mix, guys. And I'll let you guys flip through these. I've flipped through quite a few. Like I said, there's a lot of A and D spelled out, and there's some and signs, so they actually do both. Okay, one moment, please. Excuse me. My apologies for that. So there's your album covers. I think there was a magazine cover in there I went through. And like I said, it's kind of a mix. And spelled out and sign. It seems to lean towards or more towards A and D, which resonates with what their official site says. They say A and D. All right. So now for the that's Huey Lewis and the news and sign and A and D. That's what you got. But in my mind, um, when I was doing this search, I remembered as a kid it was Huey Lewis in the news, IN. And, you know, when you're a kid, something like that would be real easy to mix up if they said on the radio Huey Lewis in the news. You might think they said Huey Lewis in the news, right? As a kid. So I was ready to blow that off. Then my fiance, when she saw that that's what I was doing, she said, well, gee, I thought it was Huey Lewis in the news, IN. And then I had to take a step back, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you're younger than me. It's strange, because I never mentioned to her that that's what I remembered at all. Because, again, like I said, figuring just the memories of a kid mishearing something on the radio several times. Because they played on the radio a lot back then. So, um, so I thought that was weird. And so I set out to look for Huey Lewis in the news. And ironically, Google would uh, autofill that. If you type Huey Lewis in, it would say Huey Lewis in the news songs before you to autofill, right? And I thought that was weird, but I couldn't find any real residue for Huey Lewis in the news. And I thought, well, I'm not even going to mention it unless I go to Google Trends and see anything on it at all. Well, guess what? I did. So I'm going to provide this Google Trends search that I did. And I'll go through it real quick. I'll provide it. But Huey Lewis in the news. February 24th through March 2nd, 2019. 44 people looked for Huey Lewis in the news. 31 on March 17th through the 23rd, 2019. Here's a spike in it. You had 78 people looking Huey Lewis in the news. April 7th through the 13th, 2019. Here's a dip, guys. Only 32 people looking for Huey Lewis in the news. And here's a real dip to where 0 people did in May 26th through June 1st of 2019. Nobody did. But then you spiked again to 73 people looking for Huey Lewis in the news in June 2nd through the 8th. And then it dips, or this was 2019. Then it dips, and only 42 people looking for Huey Lewis in the news on June 9th through the 15th, 2019. So another spike of 85 people, 85 searches for Huey Lewis in the news, June 16th through the 22nd. And this goes on, guys. It dips to 43, spikes to 77, spikes to 79, dips to 53. So people are looking 81, spikes to 81, guys. And then after that, it dips to 32 and then spikes to 97. And I think that's about the highest spike there is left. 80, So yeah, 41. I'll provide this link, guys. You can see that people were definitely searching Huey Lewis in the news. So there's a little residue, if nothing else. I don't know if you'd call that residue, but I'd say that there's quite a few people out there. Although, I say quite a few, but there are people out there that remember Huey Lewis in the news. Now, we all could have misunderstood it, misheard it. Why not? But I'm going to throw it in here because it's obviously been searched for, and I'll provide that Google trend link as well. You can look at that. So that's what we got on that. So I guess we'll do it this way. We will thumb up if you remember Huey Lewis A&D the news, like on their official website. We'll thumb down if you remember Huey Lewis and Sign the news, like are on a few albums. You can comment both if you remember that they've always done it both ways, and leave a comment if you happen to remember ever, even if only briefly, Huey Lewis in the news. Now, another thing is that could have changed a long time ago when I was a kid, and the residue could be gone or very difficult to find at this point. Or it could have been a complete misunderstanding on quite a few people's parts, obviously. And I say quite a few people, me, my fiance, and everybody that was searching for it on this Google Trends, which is quite a few people. I mean, it's not a million people, but it's, a few hundred probably. If you added all those 90s up and 80s up and 70s up and some of the spikes or the low spikes, some of the 50s and 40s, you'd probably have a few hundred people there if you did the math. So that's interesting too. I don't know about that. I don't know. Hopefully somebody else does. So that's going to be it for this one, and I will get to that song at some point when we start doing songs again. Right now, we're following this band name rabbit hole, seeing where it goes. So, um, and then I want to get back into decoding because I think that's more important than what we're doing now anyway. So, but I can't really do that here very well. So it's not as easy as it looks. If anybody watched any of them, it looks real easy, but it isn't as easy as it looks. So I need more concentration, more light than I have here. I need several things that I don't have here. So hopefully soon that'll be a thing we can start doing again too. So anyway, more to come. I'm not sure about today. Still not feeling the greatest. So for now, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for running this a little long, but I think it was necessary for this one. This one was a little weird and a little different. So for now, you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching, and thanks for voting.